Hello YouTube, this is the Java Programmer, and in the last video we finished off this class. Well, I won't say finished, but we finished this method, the EMA method in this class, the TA lib helper, and let's go throughout the code and see if this actually works. So we're gonna get a list. This produces a list of data points. Now remember, our data instrument calls this helper. So if we look here, we added, remember we had to add a number of periods to our method. A number of periods is not the same as the amount of entries that we are looking for, like we use in the get history. Think about it, get history is how many bars do we want. So let's say we say 100, but if we then want to calculate the 20 period moving average on those, we don't want to put in our amount variable because that would be 100, and you can't do a moving average over the whole set. You might as well just do an average and figure out what the last number is. So in this case, what we want to do is we want to say I want the EMA of bars, and I want the 20 period moving average. So you could do the 50 or the 200 or 100 or whatever. So now that we have this in our data instrument class, let's go back out here and look at our main class. Now that's kind of our tester program here. So this EMA of data points should be populated. So let's just let's comment this out real quick, and let's just loop through them and see what we get. So if we say for data point in EMA, sys out our is it point dot, I think it was data, what did we call it? What was in our data point class? Public double point. Yeah, of course we named our point, so it's going to be point dot point. That's a little odd, but anyway, let's run this program and see if we get some output. I apologize, but you're going to have to sit through the disclaimer. Now that the disclaimer's over, let's run this program. So logging into Oanda, getting the rates. Oh, there we go. Now let's see if these make sense. We really have no idea because we don't know what the data is that's behind these to know if these make sense or not. So I think the next step we're going to have to do is we're going to have to graph these points onto our graph to see if this really makes sense or not. So let's bring back this code, which is our graph code. And what we're going to want to do is we get the history and we graph it. But this might be something we want the instrument to do. We might want the data instrument to be able to just graph itself. I'm not sure what the best solution is here, but let's for now, let's just right here we graph the that's on first. Well, chart dot add, let's see, add data points, and we're gonna pass in the EMA, and then we will chart dot update data points EMA. So we're going to have to pull this every time right here. So every time we're going to be getting the history, and then we will be plotting the EMA. Let's skip the let's skip this for a moment. We can't. All right. So we need this add. Let's just call it update data points. That way we'll just do the same thing every time. So in our chart class, we have these points that are coming in, and if you look, we have a, from before, when we brought the history in, the bars, we initialized the chart with the bars, and what that did was it created a data set, this generate data set. Now, the thing about this is that we don't have a timestamp. We lose the timestamp. So, all right, back over here in our lib helper, we bring the bars in. The bars have a timestamp on them, but when we convert them back to points, we lose that timestamp. So we need to, in this class here, we need to preserve the timestamp so that when we graph this, we can have the proper timestamps. I've been thinking about this for over a day now, and there was a nagging problem that I overlooked in the last couple videos, but I realized that to solve this issue with the timestamps, we're going to have to fix this problem. And the problem is, if we look at our program here, you notice that we are passing in the chart type and the amount every time we do these calls, and that did not seem right to me, and I realized what this needs to do. Instead of it being set up like this, we need to send the chart type in with the instrument, because that's going to be pretty tightly tied to the instrument based on what you're looking for. You're going to have an instrument, and you're going to have a particular chart that you're going to want to be working with. So we'll pass the chart type into the instrument, and then when we get history, we're going to say how many history entries we want, because it's already configured for what chart type and what instrument. And then when we generate the EMA, we're not going to pass in anything. We're simply going to generate the EMA off of the history. Now, I know that this makes almost all the code turn red, but I think this seems more right to me. I'm going to go down the road of refactoring this. In the next video, we'll focus more on trying to graph the EMA. So let's refactor this code, and then I think this video will be done. So the get instrument class, we pass in a string and a chart type. Okay, that's taken care of. The history. Let's see, when we initialize the data instrument, let's see where. So instrument, all right, how's this going to work? Chart type. So it takes in a chart type, and we're going to have to set the chart, we're going to have to send that type to the instrument, and the instrument's going to have to keep track of it. So it'll forever have that chart type. So in our data instrument class, private chart type, and that's coming in here. So this dot chart type is equal to chart type. And instead of the history, this is just going to take in an amount, and we'll come back to this in a moment. So here, everything looks good. Here, what do we have problems with? Okay, history. History is just a list of bars. So this radically changes. This is going to be a linked list of bars. We're not going to get the history because we already have it. So when we get the EMA, we're going to pass in that and number of periods. And that's going to go here. So if there's 100 bars and we pass in 20 periods, then we're going to get the EMA of 20. And we'll have to sort out this. This will have to get sorted out later, but for now, let's see. Okay, so here we're going to say we want the EMA based on history, 20 periods. Great. I think that refactored everything. Let's just take a quick look. Chart type. This all looks good. We're still going to have to deal with our timestamp issue, but we will do that in the next video. We don't need that class open. Get EMA, passing in the bars. Yep, that looks good. This, get a string and a type coming in, and we pass it in this. Yep. All right, I think we are set. Let me just run this program one more time. Make sure. Let's see. This is gonna. Okay. Well, this video is over. Thanks for watching. This is Java Programmer, and we'll see you next time.